So David Woessner, Local Motors. My talk was New Mobility, the Efficient Frontier, ?
There's a reason why we pull you right from the stage, right off the red carpet.
Right.
How do you feel right now? How was your experience out there today?
It was good. I think I may have moved a little too much, but I thought the crowd was interested. People nodded. And so I thought, it definitely engaged. Certainly sometimes you don't know what you're gonna get, and are people nodding away? Are they paying attention? I felt like the crowd was engaged. Mm-hmm. So that's always positive, because then you're it's resonating, right? Mm-hmm. And you got a couple of chuckles and some of the silly jokes I made. So, I think they were engaged.
The Detroit joke was great. I laughed at the back. And that's actually my second question. A lot of TEDx speakers say that the connection and the engagement and the ideas, they can almost see the energy going from their words to the crowd. Is that what your experience was today?
Yeah, I think, and then when you get head nods, right, as you scan the crowd and they're nodding, the worst is people just sitting there or getting on their phone. But when people actually capture it on their phones because they're interested and they're nodding along, you know you're making a connection. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
And David, now that you're a TEDx speaker alum and you've been through this process, and Ajit's emailed you probably 56 times and all these videos and all these blog posts. Besides that, I think a lot of speakers, they can reflect on it and they appreciate all the prep. But now that you've been here, you've made it, and you've ridden that wave, what advice do you have, what words of wisdom for future TEDx speakers?
So one is the process, right? You got to trust the process. And even if and like I said, I've spoke plenty of times in different settings in front of bigger crowds, taped, not taped. But you got to trust the process and humble yourself to say, hey, I don't know everything there is to know about the various formats of how talks are given. So humble yourself and engage in the process. And I think ultimately I became a better public speaker through this, because I've thought about different ways to engage the audience throughout. And one thing from the Chris Anderson book, right, is the through line. Mm-hmm. And so my through line, and the other thing was, it's the what, so what, and what now. And I felt like I stuck to that and it came across, right? There was a what, so what, and then what now. And then, I used some of the other cues of narrative and explanation and revealing and revelation. So these are things that when you just get in your kind of status quo mode of giving talks, you may not make this connection and give the audience all that they deserve. And so that's been what I've taken away from this process. And I would suggest to other people is to humble yourself, no matter if you've given 100 talks or 5 talks. There is a process, and engage in it, and I think you'll become a better speaker.